Welcome to our show, Obsessed, where we talk about cryptids, mythology, folklore, and whatever else we're currently obsessed with. I'm Caitlin Palmer.
And I'm Clay.
And we're
Obsessed.
Hello, darlings. How are you today?
What is this?
I'm in some kind of mood today.
What is
and
this
I don't know, but I do have a little bit of a bit. So in front of me, Clay, I have $60. And every time you make me laugh, I'm going to give you $10. So what I'm trying to say is I'm going to try to be stone-faced this whole time.
I don't know that that's good audio medium.
Okay, fine. Here's $10.
Just for that?
Yeah, just for that. I made the rules. I have to lay in them.
That's not how the saying goes.
It is. Does the Pope shit in the woods? He does.
You've heard it here. You heard it here first. The Pope shits in the woods.
With bears.
With bears. It's my episode this week.
Yeah.
And I get to choose what we talk about.
Okay.
And it's not going to be the Pope, nor his holy shits.
Here's $10 more.
I don't.
This isn't going to last very long. This bit, I tried a thing. It failed.
Are you high?
Not yet. No.
Not yet?
Not yet. No.
Are you planning on being
I'm
high?
planning on it, but I'm not currently, no.
It's my week, and I get to choose, but someone kind of chose for me.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to the Comic-Con, and there
New Orleans Fan Expo.
The New Orleans Fan Expo. I didn't expect to find something like this there, but we found a guy, an artist, who does a lot of cryptid art, and then writes stories about them, and puts them in a book, and wraps them in leather. It's very nice. It's a very nice book, and I did buy it. But we were exchanging sort of like, oh, well, have you heard about this cryptid? Kind of thing, back and forth, looking for obscure cryptids. And one of the ones that I didn't know about that he showed me that I immediately became interested in or obsessed with is the Enfield horror.
Yeah. I've heard the name, the Enfield horror.
I've never heard the name.
But I don't know what it is.
And then he showed me a picture of it. And I was immediately hooked.
His art is so good. We passed by, and Comic-Cons are a little overwhelming because there's just stuff and
there's shit
art everywhere. And I love it because I live a maximalist lifestyle. But it was so cool, and I was like, hey, it's a Kelpie. And they had the Kelpie, they had Black Shuck, they had Mothman. He had almost every cryptid.
I don't think so. But there's a lot of cryptids. But he did have 2 books worth of cryptids. We'll say that much. There were a couple that I was hoping he would have art of, hadn't done it yet, but I'm sure he's working on book 3 now, so.
I'm sure he is, and I requested The Beast of Gévaudan.
Yeah, that was one that we have covered that he did not do
I was going to buy that art. If he had The Beast of Gévaudan, I was going to buy it.
He did have one that was very similar to The Beast of Gévaudan.
Yeah.
From his particular hometown.
Yes.
Which we
cover
got on the list.
Too.
Yeah. We can always use his book to pull from the next one if we don't know what to do.
And the book is so cool because it's written like it's a monster hunter's journal.
Right. He's created a character, a monster hunter, that tracks down these various cryptids. So he'll include some basic information about the cryptid, his art of the cryptid, and then a short story, basically, of how this hunter interacted or dealt with these various creatures. So it's a very supernatural Sam and Dean's dad's
very
book.
Much so, yeah.
This is what you do. Oh, you found a Dracula. Well, here's what you got to do when you find a Dracula.
Right.
So the Enfield horror. What are you laughing about?
I was thinking about that thing that we're making a video of. I need change. Here.
This is quickly becoming far more effort than it's worth doing. You're down to $30.
I'm down to $30.
You're counting every little chuckle as a laugh, not even a good laugh.
Okay. All right. So from here on out, it has to be a hearty belly guffaw.
Okay. All right. All right. So do you know what I love about this wretched little creature?
It's little?
Well, it's 5 foot tall.
Oh, okay. So I keep thinking it's the Eldritch horror, and that's not correct.
Close. It's the Enfield horror, but it's also known as the Enfield monster. But the Enfield horror sounds cooler.
It does.
It's kind of like how I say the Phantom of the Flatwoods instead of the Flatwoods Monster.
See, it's the Flatwoods Monster, my guy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, monster.
One person called it the Phantom of the Flatwoods, and I was like, that's cool.
The Phantom of the Flatwoods is here, and now it's gone.
That's your first strike already.
Oh. I still have $30, so...
Well, you're not allowed to sing in the podcast.
Damn it.
So,
I can't cuss. I can't sing.
No, you can cuss. You can't sing, though, because of copyright claims.
Pain in my ass.
So what I love about this creature is that, much like the Flatwoods Monster, a lot of different people saw it, so you get different accounts.
Are they all kind of similar?
Yeah, they're all kind of similar. Probably more similar than the Flatwoods
Monster. Like, allegedly, they all saw the same thing.
Right, yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
But I like it when it's not just, like, a person or whatever. I like my cryptids in two ways. One, it's, a whole bunch of different people saw it at different times. And two, no one has ever seen it. And it's like some old folklore that is passed down from generation to generation, and a whole town knows about it but doesn't talk about it.
Those are good.
Those are the two cryptids I like.
Yeah.
So this falls into the first category where a bunch of people saw it, allegedly. And this all took place in April of 1973.
Oh, I wasn't alive yet.
No. So this is a kind of old one, all things considered.
Is.
Oh, and an addendum to the everyone saw it, and then newspapers ran stories on it.
Of course they did.
Is the other thing. So the Flatwoods Monster showed up in some newspapers. The Enfield Horror showed up in some newspapers too.
Cool. Okay.
And for that, I think I'll just read you the newspaper article.
Do it.
That's your second strike.
News article, gonna read it now. Ow!
Okay.
That's an original song. I can sing that on the air.
All right. This was put in the Mount Vernon Register newspaper on Friday, April 27th, 1973. And it reads, "A monster at Enfield. 3 legs, pink eyes as big as flashlights."
What?
We'll cover how it looks in a second.
Clickbait.
Henry McDaniel says he shot and wounded a monster... Hold on, maybe I should do this like 1973.
Oh.
Henry McDaniel... I can't do that.
Please do it. I'm begging you.
Henry McDaniel says he shot and wounded a monster on his doorstep and is worried it may come back to get even. McDaniel, 50, said he has just returned... Well, fuck. God damn it. McDaniel, 50, said he'd just returned from a meeting Wednesday night where he heard something scratching at his door. Quote, "It had 3 legs on it," he said. "A short body, 2 little short arms, and 3 pink eyes as big as flashlights. It stood 4.5 to 5 feet tall and was grayish colored." I can only keep that going. This is like a whole article. I can't do the whole thing. "It was trying to get into the house," he said. McDaniel, an antique dealer, said he slammed the door and grabbed a pistol and a flashlight from the dresser in his bedroom and returned to the front door, opened it, and spotting the creature about 12 feet from the house, he fired 4 shots. Quote, "When I fired the first shot, I knew I hit it," he said. "The creature gave out a hiss, much like a wildcat's, judging from its imitation of the sound. Covering 50 feet in 3 jumps, it fled through some brush along a railroad embankment that runs near the McDaniel home. State police, summoned by the frightened McDaniel, arrived too late to spot the creature, but discovered its tracks in the soft earth about the home. McDaniel said the track was like a dog's, except it had 6 toe pads. One of the troopers, James Masser, said McDaniel appeared rational and sober. McDaniel said he was sure it wasn't a dog and was positive it wasn't a kangaroo because he had once pet a kangaroo while serving with the army in Australia.
Nice. That's so specific.
It's
it
very
wasn't
specific.
A dog. It wasn't a kangaroo.
Asked how he was able to note so many details of the creature in such a short space of time and in the dark, McDaniel said, quote, "I have a photostatic memory." And then he recalled that the creature's body was almost like a human body. He said some school children told him they had seen a similar creature at the school ballpark. Quote, "If they do find it, they will find more than one, and they won't be from this planet, I can tell you that."
I'll tell you what.
I tell you what. Enfield is about, well, there's just more from the article, but Enfield is about 10 miles west of the Carmi-White County in southeastern Illinois.
Okay. I'm down to $20, by the way, for anyone who is keeping up.
So, to describe the Enfield monster, so far what we've got.
Right.
4.5 to 5 feet tall.
Baby.
Grayish, human-esque body.
Gross.
With 2 forearms.
Okay.
And then 3 legs. and then two very pink eyes that are about the size of flashlights, which this is 1973, so flashlights were a little bit larger.
They're pretty big flashlights.
Yeah, they're a little bit larger than they are today, I believe,
Yeah.
based on how technology goes. I do know that at one point people believed that these sightings were caused by a wild ape or an escaped kangaroo. So maybe they had mentioned to him, like, oh, what do you think of a kangaroo?
Maybe that's where the kangaroo came from.
Yeah, and he was just like, no, it's not a kangaroo. It's not a kangaroo. I've definitely seen one before.
Picture it. Sicily.
Well, Australia.
There was kangaroos.
And its feet left behind 6 toe pads.
Aww.
Aw?
Well, 6 little toe beans.
6 little toe beans.
That's 2 more than you usually get.
So he sounds a little bit crazy there at the end. You know, like, if they find him, they'll find more than one, and they're not from this planet. But the trooper did say he appeared rational and sober when he took a statement. So, he wasn't drunk or blasted out of his mind. He was certain he had seen this thing. I do like, it does mention that the creature cleared 50 feet in 3 jumps. So it's got some hops.
Yeah.
50 feet ain't nothing.
No.
Jumping an average of 16 feet per leap.
Right.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty substantial.
Yeah.
So while I haven't heard of this today, and probably other people haven't heard of this, it made the rounds. About 5 years later, they would release they would use this as like a case study, studying social contagion.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. So the same sort of stuff as like the dancing plague back in the day. Any sort of like group emotion, hysteria, anything like that. Which is also very interesting to me.
But it makes it real though, like the hysteria, like it's real to those people.
Right, it is very real to them. In nature, you'll find things like hive minds or like herd mentality and things like that. You'll see a flock of birds that hoard together and move in unison. And it's kind of one of those things. It's like, well, people are animals.
Right.
So is this just some weird thing that we have that, we've sort of like evolved out of, but it still crops up from time to time? The dancing plague, obviously, we could probably do a whole episode on the dancing plague.
Honestly, we could.
It's not necessarily a cryptid or anything, but it could be something we're obsessed with.
Sure.
But, was a set period of time where people would just go out into the streets and start dancing until they literally died.
Yeah.
So that's not like you can't really like fake that or like lean into it or get carried away with it. People were dying. People were like weeping while they were dancing because they couldn't stop. Their
that's really
feet
sad.
Blistered up and all these things, real terrible. But that sort of group emotion, those hysterics, pushed those people to that brink. So like you said, it does make it very real.
Yeah.
For those people. And I believe the people that saw this Enfield monster, whether it exists or not, truly do believe that they saw it. They believe
they saw it, right.
One of the reports that claimed to have seen this creature was from a 10-year-old boy, a neighbor to Mr. McDaniel, the original person who saw this creature, who claimed to have actually seen the monster about, like 30 minutes before he did.
Oh, wow.
He said the creature had stepped on his feet and tore his tennis shoes, like ripped them to shreds. And the kid ran back to his house kind of thing.
That would make me so angry. Like, whenever one of the dogs steps on my feet and my feet get cut a little bit, because, we don't trim our nails like we're supposed to. But I get so irrationally angry. I would get so mad at the Enfield.
Yeah.
At the Enfield horror. I'm sorry, I have Eldritch stuck in my head. The Enfield horror. I would be like, get the fuck off of my foot, and then I would like hit it, and it would be bad. I don't hit our dogs. Edit all of that out.
I'm not going to. The boy later said that his account was a hoax.
The little boy's
Yeah, he made it up just to fuck with
just to mess
Mr.
with me
McDaniel.
60 years later.
No, to like mess with Mr. McDaniel. Like, I saw it too, but before you, kind of thing.
I saw it too, but better than Kyle.
Yeah, basically. On May 6th, McDaniel actually called into a radio station saying that he had seen the creature again. This time he had claimed to see it at 3 in the morning, basically near some railroad tracks close to his home.
Okay, 3 in the morning is bad news. Don't go out. Don't leave your room at 3 a.m. Just stay in the bed.
This time he didn't shoot the creature. He said, like, it wasn't, like, in a hurry or anything. He just kind of watched it walk down the tracks. He's like, all right, bye-bye.
Bye, beautiful time.
Bye, have a beautiful time. A search party was formed, which one of the people in the search party was the news station that the radio station that he had called. It was their director, Rick Rainbow.
Rick Rainbow?
Rick Rainbow, what a name.
I love it.
There's always good names in these.
Oh my God, if your name is Rick Rainbow, you have to be associated with all of this. It's amazing. In the 70s, oh, Rick Rainbow.
All right, now are you high?
Yeah.
Okay. Editor's note, my wife is prescribed medical marijuana. So this search party went out and explored the following day to try to find the Enfield horror, and they encountered a, quote, ape-like being in an abandoned building near McDaniel's house.
Ape-like being.
Ape-like being, yeah. So a little bit different than what we had seen before. And they even said that they had got a recording of the creature's noises.
Oh? Do those recordings survive to this day?
Not that I can find. They basically said they shot a gun at it, because why not? And it ran off. A 1970s cryptozoologist.
Love it.
Investigated these claims. A 1970s cryptozoologist named Lauren Coleman wrote an article on specifically this creature that was seen, that got kind of confused with the Enfield horror, and coined them swamp slobs. Abominable swamp slobs.
I thought you were going to say swamp sluts.
Swamp sluts? That's a different cryptid.
Yeah, we'll cover those one day, too.
The Illinois Abominable Swamp Slobs, which is kind of like, I guess, a swamp yeti.
Okay.
Because that's kind of what it looks like. I have an artist.
Oh, yeah, it kind of looks like your traditional swamp ape.
Yeah, it's a swamp ape. Quote, for one thing, they don't have a name. Researcher John Keel, who has studied their appearances and habits over the years, calls them abominable swamp slobs, but the moniker hasn't caught on. Call them what you will, they're unwelcome. Any creature, animal, or human that prowls around scaring people, and on top of that smells bad, isn't likely to be loved.
It's a skunk ape. It's got to be a skunk
ape. This article I could only find on CryptoZoo News.
Okay, so maybe not the most reliable.
Well, but the posts are from the original Lauren Coleman.
Okay.
So this is like
So maybe.
What do you call it? This is like an archive of like her articles.
Oh, I see. Okay.
A day after McDaniel was interviewed on by the radio station, police were called to investigate reports of gunfire, and arrested 5 young men from out of town who had come to Enfield in order to photograph the creature, carrying shotguns and rifles for protection. The young men had claimed to have seen the beast, and the county sheriff basically wrote it off as them just being
kids.
Well, quote, out drinking and raising hell.
Oh, yeah.
Which I guess
people
if you're in
still do
Illinois,
that. Yay. I mean, look, they do it here.
If you're in Illinois, I guess there's nothing else to do.
Right.
But basically he believed that they were just using the creature as an excuse to go out and fuck around drunk with guns.
And then they found out.
Fortunately, it seems like most of the other sightings of the Enfield horror were just bullshit.
Oh,
One kid's like, yeah, I made it up to fuck with the old man. A bunch of drunk guys were like, yeah, no, we're hunting the creature.
Yeah.
And then someone else is like, we found it. And it's nothing like anything.
Yeah.
It's not even close
I
to
saw
what
it, but before you.
I saw it, but before you did. That didn't stop, the story of the Enfield horror from making its rounds. It was in a lot of different news articles and outlets being spread around at the time. You've got the Champaign-Urbana Courier, the Malign Dispatch, the Alton Telegraph, the Chicago Daily News. This story was running in papers all over.
Right.
It was a bit sensationalized, although it didn't seem to last very long.
Sure.
The sort of like prevalent theory was that it was a kangaroo that had escaped the zoo. Basically saying that the 3 legs look...
well, they have that long-ass tail.
They have a long-ass tail that, if you look at it from a certain angle, does kind of look like a leg. And
I can see that.
they are known to bound pretty far, actually.
That's fair.
I don't know how far a kangaroo can jump, but 16 feet? far might actually not be that hard for a kangaroo to do.
Hold on, I'll find out.
You'll Google it. Them being 5 foot tall, kangaroos are pretty tall.
Yeah, I mean, and great, kangaroos are a little shorter like that, so.
Oh, holy shit. Yeah, no, a kangaroo can jump 30 feet in a single bound.
Up to 30 feet.
Up to 30 feet, yeah.
Still, so 16 feet is like
It's
just
super doable.
Just a little hop.
But a kangaroo did escape from a nearby zoo. So that's where, like, the theories came from.
I bet some of it was the kangaroo.
Could have seen a kangaroo, although the rest of it doesn't really sound like it. I mean, it talked about, like, these really big and distinctly pink eyes. Doesn't really match a kangaroo. And there's some other notable kangaroo features that I think would have come out, like the long, narrow face.
Sure.
Or, you know, like the big ears, which were sort of missing from this.
Yeah.
There was no mention of ears, and it was described as being more human-like.
Right.
Which, you know, I mean, kangaroos stand up on their hind legs.
I was going to say if it was in having a bipedal moment.
Right. In the original report, he had mentioned it, like, scratching on his door and stuff, and kangaroos are known to, you know, scratch at things.
They also lick their arms to cool themselves down.
There was no mention of the Enfield horde licking his arms, but, you know, maybe he could have. Maybe he just didn't see that part.
I'm gonna lick my arm right now. Solidarity.
To, like, cool yourself down?
Yeah.
You could just take off your jacket.
I could.
I mean, taking off the jacket is like the arm licking of humans.
Nah.
So saith the spider.
So saith the spider. We are on something tonight.
I mean, I didn't fucking do anything.
I am on something tonight.
The Carmi Times, another news outlet, had reported Mr. McDaniel had actually gotten about 250 phone calls over the weekend.
Over the weekend?
Over the weekend. And that one had actually...
On a Sunday?
On a Sunday. And that one had actually come from from the government, or a government representative.
Allegedly.
Specifically about similar incidents that had occurred back in 1967 associated with UFO sightings.
Oh.
Which, you know, Mr. McDaniel did specifically state that it did not come from this planet, although he
did very specifically say that.
He said they did not come from this planet.
Did not.
So he probably bought into the UFO thing, too. Now, I mean, this is during a time where UFO sightings were kind of, you know, they were kind of in the news.
They were going off, sis.
They were going off. This wasn't in, like, the height of it, but this is definitely during the time when people were calling for UFO sightings.
Sure.
As for, you know, the six-toe tracks, I'm not sure about kangaroo toe pads. I don't think they got 6 toes. But that could have just been overlapping tracks.
Sure.
From something. Especially with kangaroos, they kind of do that, like, goofy little, like, bounce back and forth to, like, balance themselves on their tail. Not in, like, a cartoonish sense, just, like, in general, when they stand up on their hind legs, they do a lot of, like, shifting around.
So kangaroos do have 5 toes on... Oh, that's front feet. 4 toes on each hind foot and 5 toes on each front foot.
Okay, so there's really no good way to make it 6, other than maybe he stepped in his own tracks.
Well, maybe it was on all 4s, and it was kind of doing that.
Then he would be
thing.
He'd be stepping in his own tracks, is what I'm
saying. What you said. I'm gonna start charging you money.
Charging me money?
Yeah, this comedy ain't free.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware that was comedy.
Wow. Oh my God.
My God.
I have to. Oh. Okay, I'm just gonna...
You gonna be alright?
No.
Now, the Sasquatch-esque sightings didn't really come out of nowhere. Nearby, sometime before this, another urban legend had sprouted up, another cryptid in the area, particularly in the Mount Vernon area.
Okay.
Who would become known as the Mount Vernon Monster.
Yeah, I have heard of the Mount Vernon Monster.
Who is very much like your typical Bigfoot or Sasquatch, being a big, tall, hairy, ape-like being. Mount Vernon is only about 40 miles away from Enfield, Illinois.
Oh, wow. So
it is reasonable to say that maybe what was spotted was a second entirely different cryptid. And not people just being crazy.
Maybe.
I'm just saying.
We're gaslighting all these people.
Maybe we're gaslighting. But that's just a fun coincidence. Or maybe they had heard it. Maybe they grew up from around that area and came over. It would be like us talking about the Honey Island swamp monster, even though it's about 20 miles away.
Yeah.
My grandpa would tell me of like a monster in the swamp. Back in my old house, there was a swampy bit of woods next to us. And he would say not to go out there or Bo Ram would get you.
A what?
Bo Ram was the monster's name, was Bo Ram.
Is this like a regional thing, or is this something he made up?
It's just something he made up as far as I can tell. Although other kids seemed to know of Bo Ram, but they called him different names, but it was always the same, like red eyes in the dark. Some sort of boogeyman out in the swamp that would get you.
We should go camp out in those swamps.
We should not go camp out in those swamps. Absolutely terrified the shit out of me as a kid.
My grandpa was missing part of a finger, and he always told me a booger bit it off.
Yeah, no, that's what my grandpa did too.
Really?
Yeah, but he cut it off with a skill saw is what happened.
Oh, wow. I don't know what happened to my... Why are all grandpas missing a finger?
You live long enough.
I guess.
You fuck up, so you cut off one part of your body at some point.
I mean, at some point.
At some point. I've come close. I almost chopped my finger off one time working at Huddle House, a local truck stop area.
There's Huddle Houses other places.
Yeah, that's true. Local-ish.
Yeah.
I think it's like a southern thing down here. I don't know if they got them up north anywhere.
I have no idea. Man, I could go for some breakfast.
It's too late for breakfast.
I know.
It's too late to eat it. We ate dinner already.
Yeah, we did.
So the Enfield horror has been depicted quite a few different ways, all following the same sort of description. You know, short-ish, three-legged, big eyes, two forearms, being vaguely human-like. There's a lot of different depictions of him, or there's a lot of artist renditions of him. The first one, of course, that, you know, I had seen was far more terrifying. Although that artist did make all of his creatures look particularly spooky.
His art style is very spooky.
It's very spooky. But looking at the art, it is very true to form. I mean, he's even got the pink eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, but he looks like this terrible little, like, cretin that would scurry towards you.
He almost looks like, imagine Gollum from the, I say new.
From the new.
Not the Rankin-Bass Hobbit, the other one.
All right. There's a couple of depictions where it appears more like alien-like.
He's kind of cute there.
Yeah, that one's cute. It's got some scales. You thought that was cute. Look at this little guy.
Oh my goodness. I would stop traffic for him.
For him. And then, of course, you've got people who are, like, really leaning into, like, the alien bit.
Yeah, but you know, that one does kind of have an apish appearance as well. Clay's going to post these.
Yeah, I'll post some pictures. Just saying that much like the Chupacabra, you know, people's idea of what it looked like, even with the descriptors they were given, people have taken a lot of leeway.
Sure, a lot of liberties
what it really looked like.
Right.
Which, you know, I'm always a fan of, going back to, like, the Manticore episode. I love not being able to fully describe it, so the best you can do is describe it as something else.
Right.
So it suffers from a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So if you Google image search the Enfield horror, and you should, you'll see a lot of different ideas that people have had about what this creature actually looked like.
Yeah.
Although he did give a very specific skin color tone. He said it was like a grayish, like pallid skin color.
Oh, like E.T. at the end?
Like E.T. when he's dying. Spoilers. If you haven't seen this, like, it's older than that, 50-year-old movie.
Oh, no. Time isn't real, man. But no, E.T. lives.
That being said, other than what I could find on Wikipedia, on the original, you know, news report, on Offbeat Nova about the Mount Vernon monster in particular, even, like, the Cryptid fan wiki, which I usually don't go to.
I still read them just for the funsies of it, but, I mean, I wouldn't do maybe serious research there. People
take a little bit of leeway with the fan wiki, which, I mean, it's right there in the name. The paper, if you're interested in reading it, that was the case study done on the Enfield monster, is a critical examination of the social contagion of collective behavior, the case of the Enfield monster.
I liked that last part. The first part got a little too journal-y for me.
Yeah, it's a very long title, but it covers other mass hysterias and things like that.
Right.
But pulling all the information I could from those sources, there's not a whole lot else about it. It had its little limelight and then disappeared.
It reminds me a lot of the Flatwoods monster.
It is almost exactly like the Flatwoods monster.
So that makes me lean alien.
That's fair. I guess do you want to rank it?
Oh, no. I was just stating, like, because we were talking about this the other day. Flatwoods Monster, definitely an alien.
Right. I mean, gotta be. They saw the UFO crash.
Right.
How likely are you to survive an encounter with the Enfield horror?
Well, it doesn't sound like it hurt anybody.
It doesn't.
It was just kind of there, and then it was.
I was going to say, the most damage it did was it wrecked up some kid's shoes, but apparently that didn't happen.
Oh, gosh, I got mad again.
You got mad again?
I
It didn't happen. He
did.
lied. He was lying.
Look, okay, but I'm one of those people, I'm so empathetic. Like, if you tell me that, like, I feel like my foot just got stepped. I'm so high. Please delete this. But I felt like my foot got stepped on by one of the dogs, and, like, I got, like, a pain and then an anger.
Okay, so how likely are you to survive an encounter with the Enfield horror?
As long as it doesn't step on my shoes, I'm good. So I give myself like a solid 9 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, I'd also give myself a 9. He doesn't sound particularly violent. Sounds like he ran off. He did get shot, so I mean, I would run off too, I suppose.
Yeah.
But it sounds like if he wants to get you, he probably could, because I mean, he cleared 50 feet in 3 jumps, so.
That's crazy.
It's more than I could do.
Oh, gosh, I didn't know even kangaroos could jump that far.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
I've seen video of them jumping. How spooky is the Enfield horror?
I think he's kind of cute. I'd give him maybe like although I don't know, the reality of seeing that is pretty terrifying. As a viewer,
right? You can't think of the various arts that you've seen here because they do range from cute to terrifying.
Right. So if I'm watching a movie, right, and the Enfield monster is in it, I give him about 5. Yeah, he's kind of.
That ain't how we rank spookiness.
But if I was in the forest and I saw it, my pants would be shitted, and I'd have to give him like a 9.
That's also not how we rate the spookiness.
3 spooky, 5 me.
Okay, there you go. I'll give him a spoop only because he hops instead of scuttles. Anything that scuttles scares the shit out of me.
That is Clay's favorite thing. Please send him gifts of scuttling things.
All right, so like The Little Mermaid, when Ursula comes crawling towards the screen,
Yeah.
it scared the shit out of me.
Did it really?
Yeah, it did. I didn't like that at all.
Really?
Yeah.
That part did kind of scare me too, but not as bad as when she becomes giant and she comes out of the water.
See, that scared you more? That didn't scare me that much.
It did. It was something about her face.
Oh. Well, maybe when we do an episode on the Kraken, you'll be really scared about the Kraken.
Nah.
You don't think so?
I ain't scared.
What if it comes out of the water? It's real big like that.
Nah, that's cute.
Oh, okay. Oh, how likely is the Enfield monster to exist?
Okay, so I feel like I'm beating a dead horse because it's like saying how likely are aliens to exist?
No, not that. Specifically this creature that was seen.
Specifically this creature.
Yeah, how likely is the Enfield horror to exist?
I'm going to give him a 4.
You give him a 4?
I'm going to give him a 4.
Yeah, I'm going to have to give him pretty low, too. Technically, only one dude saw him.
Technically, yes. And and there was a documented kangaroo on the loose. So I think some of the sightings, quote unquote, would have actually
Maybe
been.
5 guys saw him, but we don't know because they were drunk.
Did they got burgers and fries?
I shouldn't even... Less than 6 guys saw it.
Right. The math is not wrong.
So, yeah, I think I'll just agree with you on... No, I might give him a little bit less. 3.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna drop it down to 3.
I'm giving the benefit of the doubt
Because it's been
yeah.
50 years since no one's seen him again.
And that guy's
as far as I can tell.
That guy's probably passed away, huh? I'm sure he has.
He
if
might
it was
be.
50
Yeah.
years
It's
ago.
been 50 years since. If he was middle-aged, if he's still alive, he's pretty old.
Bless him. I hope he's still alive.
How likely is it to be an alien?
I'm going to give it a 2,000.
2,000. Yeah, I mean, 9. I can't really see a case for it not being an alien.
No.
The guy who said it, the guy who saw it, said that it was an alien.
And that guy never lies.
That guy never lies, as far as I...
Unlike his brother, who never
doesn't
tells
exist, maybe.
I don't know.
We don't know if he exists.
We have no idea.
We'll rate him a different time.
Sure. He gets his own episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 9. If this thing exists, it's an alien, right?
Absolutely.
The description fits every sort of... It hits like every checklist for alien, right?
Right.
It's like, ooh, grayish pallid skin and like big eyes and, you know. This, I enjoy the liberties of like, oh, he's not just completely humanoid, but with like a big fucking head or something.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, well, he's got 3 legs. And it's like, that's pretty sick.
That is, and you know the joke I was thinking about at the beginning.
Wiener?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
No, if it existed, it's an alien.
It's an alien. You win this time, alien fans. It's an alien.
Yeah, it was an alien.
Congratulations. I hope you're happy.
I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy now.
That
How good
third
was Wicked?
strike.
How good
I
was
didn't see it.
Wicked? We're going to see it.
You went without me. I didn't fucking see the thing.
I wanted you to go.
Well, too bad, I guess.
I hope you're happy.
I already gave you 3 strikes. You're done. If you do it again, I don't know. I'll step on your shoes and
no, you won't.
I'll claw up your shoes like the Enfield Horror did.
Oh, Clay, it happened again. I'm telling you, when I think about my foot being stepped on, I feel it. It's very upsetting and it makes me so mad.
That's what happened to the Enfield Horror. He stepped on Caitlin's shoes and she killed him. He came down from Illinois just to get murked. Oh no! I didn't make it all the way through. I got $10 left.
Yeah, so you have won. I started with $60, and every time Clay made me laugh, he got $10. The first 3 times I was counting every chuckle because I'm nice that way. And then he pointed it out, so I was like, okay, no, I need like a guffawing deep belly laugh. And so he started doing that. So he ended up with $50. I've still got $10.
Yeah.
So make me laugh. Do it. Go, funny man.
I mean, there's no time. The show's over.
Nah.
It's not over?
Nah.
It's not over until I win all $60.
It's not over till you win all $60.
I guess the only thing I can say is... Duty!
Just end it right there.
You're a child.